Hey there guys, welcome to the next tutorial here on the channel. I'm going to show you guys how to make what's called a carry-all, at least that's my personal name for it. It's going to be kind of like a cross between a woman's wallet and a tower wallet, which I made a long time ago, which was kind of like a men's style of a woman's wallet. It's going to be called a carry-all because it's going to be able to carry pretty much anything you'd ever want to carry in a wallet or something similar like a money clip and stuff like that. So let's get started here on the tutorial. I'm going to be using the regular yellow and the electric blue duct tape for this, and let's get started on making the carry-all. Alright, so the first thing I'm going to do is actually make the billfold for the carry-all here, and that's kind of actually not going to be pretty much a billfold, but it's going to be more like kind of an envelope which you can slip a whole bunch of bills into it. So I have a buck here. I'm going to use that as my guideline. A dollar bill is about 6 inches long. It's a little over 6 inches, so I have a whole bunch of strips that are 7 inches long, and that'll be more than long enough for however many bills I want to slip into the thing. You're able to carry a lot more bills without messing up your wallet or whatever you're making if you carry them just straight open like this rather than folding them in any way or anything like that. So take my first two strips, stick them together like that, and I'm going to take my third and overlap by probably about 1/4 of an inch or so. It's going to have about a total length of about 3 1/4 inches, a total height, I'm sorry, of 3 1/4 inches. I'm going to take my fourth one and I'm simply going to cover up the rest of the sticky side right here, just like that. And now if I take my buck, you can see that I have plenty of room in there, and I can always slip in a whole bunch of these and it's not going to be any issue however many I slip in there. So I'm going to take 4 more strips. I'm making an exact duplicate of this piece here. So do that step right now and then we'll move on. So once you have your 2 sheets, make sure they're exactly the same by doing any trimming if you need to. Cut out 1 strip of tape that is 7 inches long, should be the bottom length of these 2 sheets. Going to stick half of it on this side, half of it on the other side, and we're just sealing up this envelope here, and we're going to seal up the sides next. And this will make a nice place to put all our cash. So 1 strip of tape that's about a little over 3 inches long, that's the height, cut that in half. And then I'm going to use this to seal up the sides. Alright, so there's a 1, and there's my second one, half on this side, half on the other. There we go. That's the first part of the carry-all, which is a small little billfold. Well, not really a fold at all, but just kind of a pocket for all of the cash. So once we have our money part, we're going to put that aside, and then you're going to take 4 more strips of tape and you're going to make an exact duplicate of this piece here. So same dimensions and everything. We're going to be using the exact same dimensions as we made for this one for the entire carry-all. So get used to using the same dimensions for that. So this is just a single sheet, and you're going to need a credit card or an equivalent of a credit card that's about the right size, and we're going to make all the credit card holders in this piece here. So we're going to make probably 2 on each side just to give you guys an idea. You could definitely make at least 4, so 1 here, 1 here, and 1 here, and 1 here, or you can kind of max it out and probably put 3 on each side as well. Totally up to you guys. Alright, so to make the credit card holders, I don't use any special measurements. I just take my credit card or equivalent, I put it on my cutting mat, and I allow about 1/4 of an inch on each side. You're going to need 5 of these pieces. We cut our 5th one in half, and those are going to be the bulk pieces of the credit card holder. These will make 2 of them. So I'm going to take my first 2 pieces, I'm going to stick them together just like that. Alright, no problem. If you're going to use a little bit of trim, a little bit of color trim on your credit card, that's totally up to you. I'm going to use the blue for that. I just stick a little bit on the top, make sure it's totally straight, wrap this around towards the back. And of course this will be the bottom of the credit card holder. Take my 5th strip, which I cut in half, and that'll be used to connect the credit card holder. So there's the one. Of course I need to seal up the sides, but I'll use the other one here real quick just to show you guys once again. First 2 strips, and they're kind of getting stuck to my fingers here. First 2 strips like this, stick them together, take my trim if I'm going to use that. Remember, it doesn't matter how much you put around the back side, it's really just how much you put on the front, so you can use like pretty much any size as long as it stretches towards the back. So you see they're about the same. So I'm going to take my 3rd piece, which is that strip cut in half, and that goes on the bottom. Now I just need a few small strips to attach them on the sides. Alright, so there we go. I have 4 small strips there. I'll show you those in just a second. So if you were doing a whole bunch of these on one side, you always start at the top and work your way down from there. So I'm going to just be sticking these on top here. It really doesn't make too much of a difference because I'm just going to be putting the two. And it's going to be, let's see, probably a little bit too small. Let me see if I can work this a little bit better here. We'll see if that works. We got one there, just barely going to fit, and just barely going to fit. Alright. Sometimes if you make them a little too big, it's kind of, hard to fit on there, but you guys shouldn't have too much trouble with that if you make them a little bit smaller. So it's real close there. Alright, so there's my first one. That attaches on that side. This one attaches on this side. You can also trim a little bit of that off if you want to just kind of make it a little bit even. Because it's not going to be totally even if you try to wrap that inside around the back. So this piece goes right about there. And I'm only going to need actually one piece for the center here. Unless you want to make sure that the credit card doesn't float in between these two sections, which might be an issue, but we'll see. Be kind of like a group credit card holder. So you got the one over here, and you can kind of just put another one right over here as well. So it kind of works as a dual credit card holder there. And of course you can put several of these all the way down the side here, depending on how many you want to do. So yeah, that credit card holder part barely worked out for me. Usually I don't make, one giant card holder here. It's usually two separate ones, but that was because I made this thing a little bit too small. If you add like an extra ½ an inch to this piece and then kind of copy this one off of that one, you'll have plenty of room. It was just good. That was really, really close, and that kind of prevented me from making two separate card holders here that it would fit. So just, a little bit of a tip there. Just make sure you don't do what I did and make it a little bit bigger, and you'll have no problem with that when you're making it for the first time. So there's going to be our credit card section. I'm assuming you guys could probably put more than two in. It's just totally up to you guys. Now what we're going to do is actually connect this piece in right about here, and that's going to be able to fold down like this. So let's do that now. So this piece is pretty simple. I just took a strip that's about 7 inches long, and it's just about the length of this piece here. I stuck about a little bit, about a quarter of it on there, and then I'm going to take this piece. There, of course, is the envelope for the money, the billfold without the fold. I'm going to stick this right about there. And we want to allow enough room so you can see a little bit of the sticky part, and that will kind of allow it to kind of fold like this. Remember, when there's a whole bunch of cash in here, or like dollar bills, it's going to kind of pop up a little bit, and it's going to be a little harder to close. So definitely allow a little bit of room in between so that when you do stick a whole bunch in there, it's not going to get all messed up. So there we have the second part of the carry-all. Alright, so now what we're going to do is add an accordion style pocket to our carry-all. Accordion style pockets are kind of like the do-it-all pockets of the duct tape world. They can do, cash, credit cards, all kinds of coupons, whatever you want to throw into them. So I cut out 8 strips total here. I made 2 more of these sheets here, 4 on each piece, 4 pieces of tape on each piece here, and I made sure they're exactly the same measurements as the ones up here. And then what I'm going to do is make the accordion piece here. So what I did is I cut out 4 strips of tape that are the height here of the piece, which should be about 3 1/4 inches. I think that's what it's hovering around at this point. Take my first 2, stick them together, put that aside. Take my second 2 and stick them together just like this. And then what you want to do is crease them in half like this, lengthwise. So we got our first one, and we have our second one. Now what we're going to do is attach these inside these 2 pieces here, these 2 small sheets, so that the fold is facing on the inside. So we got that one like that. We're going to attach it here and on the other side, and then we're going to do the same thing over here, just like that. And then we're going to seal up the bottom, which we'll do after we attach these 2 pieces on the inside here. So you can see that there, attached to here and to here, so the fold is on the inside, and the same thing for the other side. So do that step now. Now that's what it's going to look like after you've attached the sides. It's going to kind of push up on the sides there. Now what we're going to do is we're going to cut out a strip of tape for the bottom. You might as well cut out 2 of them, because that will use that second one to attach it into the carry-all up here. So you want to make sure that it's totally sealed down here. And then somehow this one ended up being a little longer, but that's okay. So we're going to just kind of seal up the bottom, and then I'm going to trim off that extra with the hobby knife. If I can get it off my finger, I'll show you exactly how it works. And then you can see your cool accordion pocket there. Now what we're going to do is find out where to put it on our carry-all. I'm decided to put it on the very bottom here because we can kind of have this one fold in like this and that fold in like that, or just really any way you want it to be. So I'm going to stick part of the strip on this piece here. This one's also a little too big, but that's okay. I'll work around that. Same principle as before, leave just a little bit of sticky part showing. That'll lose its stick after a while as you start using your carry-all. Trim off a little bit of the extra. And there we have it. Now that can fold in like this. Make sure it's good and folded in, and that can fold in like that. And there we go. Alright, so I think that's pretty much going to about do it for this carry-all. Like I said before, there's tons of different ways that you can do this. I say that with a lot of my different creations, but it's really true. I mean, there are a ton of different ways that you can customize this to however way you want it. If you want to put as many credit card holders into the top, you can do that. If you carry a lot more cash than what this can hold, you can make it a little bit bigger. The only thing I would caution you is to remember what I did before. I made these a little bit smaller on the side so that I couldn't put two separate credit card holders on the top here. So definitely make it a little bit longer, probably to a 7.5 inches. Maybe go to 8 inches if you really want to make sure that you can put, you know, those two separate credit card holders on the side there and kind of have a break in the middle. That's the only thing I kind of did a little wrong on this one, but it's not going to make too much of a difference because it's just for the tutorial. You can add a little bit of, you know, just Velcro here. You know, I have a little bit of a strap here on the top. You can Velcro it to the back here. Let me show you a really cool carry-all that I was given at this year's Duct Tape Festival by one of my fans here. This is kind of a One Direction one. I showed this in the Sunday Duct Tape Festival video. It's got some cool Velcro on it. Uses the purple and the One Direction tape. It's got a ton of different credit card holders, as you can see, two there, an ID holder, which is something you can add, a pocket on the top, a pocket on the top portion here, two different accordion pockets, as well as a Ziploc holder in the center here, which is kind of cool. And I also have a tutorial up on that if you want to learn how to incorporate Ziploc bags into whatever you're making. So a very cool carry-all, and this was kind of one of the cool things that kind of got me remembering that I needed to make a tutorial for this for the channel. I've been tinkering with this for a couple years now, just kind of making something that you could carry everything you wanted to in it, but this one definitely kind of inspired me to finally, you know, just remember to do it and finally get it done for the channel. So huge thanks for that, and hope you guys liked the video. I'll catch you next time on the channel for more videos coming soon.